So hey guys, it's Gerald Pauschmann from geraldpauschmann.com. As a manager, do you understand the true cost of staff turnover? Well, many managers have an attitude of nobody is indispensable, and this is an extremely short-sighted view of the value of your workforce. Now, when you hire a person, you hire them because they would have ticked most, if not all, of the boxes required to fit the role on paper. Then you conduct a face-to-face interview and hopefully you connect with the person that you hire. Then all of a sudden things change and the person you hired is just another employee. Now, as a manager, have you given consideration to the cost involved in replacing that employee? A general rule of thumb is that it can cost anything between 6 and 18 months of an employee's salary to hire and train a replacement, and that's if you're lucky enough to find one who stays through the probation period. Now, as a good example, if you have an employee earning, say, a salary of $100,000, it can cost anywhere between $30,000 and $150,000 to replace that employee. And of course, the higher the salary, the higher the cost. Take also into consideration the cost of recruitment. Now, whether you use an external recruitment agency or decide to handle the recruitment in-house, the cost is high. Add to that the time in reviewing resumes and conducting interviews, it will escalate. Now take into consideration the lost knowledge. When someone leaves, they take with them the knowledge of the role and the knowledge of the organisation and of course its culture. And this knowledge takes time to develop. And the longer the person has been with the organisation, the larger the hole that needs to be plugged. Then there's the training cost. The more specialised the role, the higher the training cost to the organisation. Now, by paying special attention to the well-being of your employees and listening to them, you could avoid some of these costs and hold on to your workforce. Try to remember why you hired those employees in the first place. Losing critical staff members can also affect the morale of other staff, and it can create a domino effect where the people in your team can become dissatisfied and start looking for other jobs as well. So if people feel undervalued by their manager or are bored in the role, they will start looking around for another job. Remember that your employees have found a workplace bond. They will continue to communicate even if one employee leaves the organisation. Usually if a person has left because they feel undervalued, they will pass their negative feedback onto their colleagues, and before you know it, you're replacing most of the team. So it's probably a good idea to hang on to them. Thanks for listening.